Welcome back to my channel. I am Sandy if you happen to be new here, and welcome. Today I'm continuing my beginner junk journal series, and I'm going to be talking about cutting tools. I'm going to talk about tools for cutting paper, chipboard, and fabric are kind of the primary ones. So I'm going to show you some of the ones that I have, and then talk about which ones I use the most, and then talk about some other ones that I don't have, but you might want to consider. So first off, a paper trimmer. So if you're wanting to get nice clean cuts, then you might want to invest in a paper trimmer. So this one is just a small little paper trimmer, and I got this years and years and years ago. I don't even know if you can get it anymore. And it's creative memories. I don't know, back in the day, of people who were scrapbookers, but that's where this came from. And this sometimes is nice to have if are working on small cards or tags, because then it fits on your desk easily and you don't have to open up these other big paper cutters. Like this is a Fiskars paper cutter, and it has an extension out here, so if you're cutting bigger pieces of paper, you can measure your dimensions. And these blades, you can replace them. They pop right out, and you can buy these at pretty much any craft store or online, and they pop right in and out. So they're easy to replace. I'll show you here. So see, it just pops right in and out, and then you can put a new one in there. So I don't really use this one that much anymore because it's usually just around Christmas time when I'm making cards. I use either this one, or I also have this paper trimmer here, and this is a We Are Memory Keepers cutting board, and it's also a scoreboard. So you can cut with it right here. And these blades are also removable and replaceable. And then you can also score. So you can flip this around, and your paper bumps up nicely against this, like that. And then you can use these grooves to make your score marks wherever you want. Move this cutter out of the way. And then you can just, wherever it is you need to make a score line, you just follow it along there, and then you have your score line. And this is the one I use the most. And what I have done is I use chipboard a lot of times when I'm making my journals, and the chipboard can really dull these blades. And so I have a separate blade, and I've marked it chipboard, so I know this is the blade I use when I'm cutting that. And then when I'm just doing my cardstock, then I put this blade in. And these are also replaceable. They pop right off here like that, and then you can put a new one on, and you can buy just the replacements, and then it pops right back on. So it's very easy. And I like how it folds up, so you can store it very easily in a small space. And it goes out to 12 inches, which is nice. You can measure on out to 12 inches. So those are the cutting boards. The other thing that I really like, and I've had these a long time as well, and I believe these are Fiskars also. Yeah, these are Fiskars. And what I like about these, I use these for fussy cutting. And the reason I like them for fussy cutting, because if you're doing a lot of fussy cutting, you're moving your hands up and down, your fingers are cramped in there, and I really, my hand really starts to get tired, doing this. But with this spring action here in this, it's really easy to do, some really delicate fussy cutting cuts. And the trick to fussy cutting is to not move the scissors, but to move the paper around your design. And just kind of putting pressure here, it's a lot less stressful on your hand than going the up and down, up and down. So if you're really brand new to journaling or crafting in general, I think this is probably a really good thing to invest in, as well as a cutting board. And then just some good regular scissors. Sometimes if you're cutting something big, you don't need to have a cutter. I mean, if you're good at, you know, measuring, you can use a ruler and you can draw, you know, a straight line on your paper. I have a pencil here. If you can draw, you know, a decent straight line on your paper, and then you can use your scissors to cut a straight line, then go ahead and do it. But I really struggle with cutting a straight line, but definitely scissors will work for sure. Another thing you can do with cutting paper is you can just use a ruler. So you can lay a ruler down, get a nice flat surface there, push down, and then you can just tear. And then you have kind of a nice torn edge there. So sometimes, depending on what you're going for in your journals, you might want a kind of a rough edge versus a clean cut that you would get from scissors or from a paper trimmer. There are things out there called tearing rulers, and it's basically a ruler that the edges have been you know, cut into so it looks really rough. So it looks like if you're just doing a tear, you know, you can just tear it like this and you'll get this nice little tearing look. But they have rulers out there, so if you really like doing a lot of this, you can buy a tearing ruler, and it saves you a little bit of time, so you're not just doing it all by hand over and over again. Some people have made their own tearing ruler. They'll buy a plastic ruler, and they'll use either like a solder iron, or they'll use, there's several different methods where you can alter that plastic ruler and give you that tearing ruler edge. So there's that as well. These two, this is a Cricut True Control knife. It's basically a razor blade in essence, or a utility knife. But I really like this one. It has a really nice grip to it. It's a really, really sharp. Let me find my mat here. I don't want to cut my table here. Well, that's not it. Sorry. Let me get my cutting mat. That's one thing I forgot when making this. I hope everybody's doing well. And I hope you all are enjoying this beginner series. I'm having fun kind of making it. But these knives, I mean, they're really, really sharp, and they cut very well. So that is an option. I don't really use this that much in my journaling. And then this is a fun little tool that I picked up. This is, again, is another Fiskars tool, and it's a finger blade. And I really like, because, you know, if you need to do some cutting, some intricate cutting, then it really gives you nice control to make your cut. Finish the rest of this here. Like that. So this is a fun little tool. I'll use this when I'm making tags, or if I'm making cute little cardstock little projects. I'll use this from time to time. Another fun paper scissors, different types of scissors to have are these kind of fun. These are, again, are more Fiskars, and they have the blades. You can see there, they have different designs. Like that's a scalloped one there. Here's kind of another wonky little edge. So they all have, here's another kind of scallop. So they're all different designs. This is kind of like a sawtooth little look there. So these are, you know, definitely not a necessity. But if you, you know, think this might be something fun to have, they're pretty easy to use. They cut a nice little design. So there's a smaller little, you know, this was that little design there. Let's see what the sawtooth one looks like. So here's the sawtooth one. And there's what the sawtooth one looks like. So, you know, just another way to add a little interest to your papers. I often forget about these, so I want to try to use them more because they do add a fun little interest to your projects and to your journals. Now, moving on to fabric. There's lots of different options that you can use. Here are some. These are the serrated edge. I forget what they call this. Sorry, I'm blanking. But this, what's nice about this one here, and I'll cut a little piece off, is this helps to keep the fabric from fraying. So when you cut this, you'll have this a pretty little design, and the fabric won't fray. So that's kind of nice. The other, and so those are kind of a nice thing. It's not a nice to have. This is just a want to have kind of thing. Another fabric tool is a rotary tool. And again, this is definitely not a have to have. This is more of a want than a need. But these rotary blades, you know, they cut quite well across the fabric. Missed a little there. And they cut very, very well. They're extremely sharp. So whatever you get, this is another Fiskars one. I have a lot of Fiskars cutting tools. I didn't realize it. You want to get one that has a good cover on it so that you don't cut yourself, because they're really sharp. So you don't want to have any injuries. So that's the rotary blade. Again, a want, not a need. And then the last thing are just some nice sewing scissors. You can use regular scissors to cut fabric, but it just doesn't cut as well. I'll do a little cut here, kind of show you. So here I'm cutting, and it'll cut, but I mean, you see how long it took me to cut that fabric. And then when I use these fabric scissors, you know, I cut two cuts and it's through, where that one I was going, you know, multiple times. So this, I think, between these zigzag, whatever they're called, I can't believe I can't think of the name of that, the rotary blade and these scissors, I would opt for these if you're just really cutting small pieces of fabric. You know, if you're going to be cutting big pieces of fabric, then you might want to invest in these, and you really can get by without having those. But it's just kind of up to you. And, you know, over the years, you know, I've collected these things, so it's not like you have to go out and get all this at once. The other thing that I really enjoy doing is you can actually just put a little cut. So you could use your regular scissors, put a little cut in your fabric, and then tearing it. And I think tearing it gives it a really fun kind of raw edge. And you can even, you know, pull on it and make it look a little more frayed. So those are the sewing type scissors that I have and I recommend. So yeah, so I know it seems like a lot of different tools and a lot of different things that you need to do your junk journals, but you don't. You don't need a lot. I was just showing you the different options that are out there and available to you, but you can get by, you know, very easily with just kind of a pair of scissors, you know. Um, but these are just options for you to kind of let you know what's out there. Some extra fun things with these types of scissors as well, with the ones that have these different little blades on them. So there are lots of options for making journals, but you know, wanted to give you what's out there, but don't want to overwhelm you. Really just want you to kind of see what's out there. And what I would recommend is to really think about, you know, which tools you think you would use the most. You know, is it really, you know, I want to start with a paper trimmer, and then maybe, you know, I'm going to be doing a lot of fussy cutting, so maybe I'll get a pair of these scissors, you know, and maybe that's all you need to start with. And then you can kind of reassess as you get going, you know, what other things you might want to buy. So I hope you found this video helpful. Please hit that like button, and it really helps my channel. And leave a comment down below. Is there a tool that you use that I haven't talked about? I would love to know about some other tools that maybe I don't know about that would be very helpful to me. So leave a comment down below. And again, if you're new and you haven't subscribed yet, or even if you're not new and you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot. I have so many fun videos planned coming up for next year, and I don't want you to miss any of them. So have a great day, and I will see you all on the next video. Bye.